I just submitted my visa application. Oh my god! Hi, my name is Madilyn Schroeder. I am 20 years old currently. I just submitted my application for my working holiday visa in New Zealand. So I'm right here-ish now. I'm gonna be all the way over there. It is currently July 2022 and I just booked my flight to New Zealand. I leave in 2 months. I know it's an exciting change, but change is still hard for me. Hi from New Zealand. This is the story of how I moved to New Zealand. Hi guys, I'm coming at you from Auckland, New Zealand. I have been here for about 3 weeks now. So basically how a working holiday visa works is the US has an agreement with New Zealand and so many other countries, but I'm from the US, so I'm going to talk from a US perspective. So the US has an agreement with New Zealand that you can come over here and work for a year, work and travel for a year, or even study. You can study for up to 6 months with this visa. If you have good health and good character, be between 18 and 30, have at least 4,200 New Zealand dollars, which equates to about 2,500 US, and then you have to pay I think it's like $200 to apply for the visa. I heard within like a month of applying, and they said yeah, you're good to go. So I was planning on coming, and then COVID hit. Well, back in March of this year, I got an email and it was saying, you've been re-granted a working holiday visa. You have until September to come into the country. And so that's why I'm here right now. So I saved up, I bought my plane ticket, and I flew out of Chicago. So yeah, they dropped me off at the airport in Chicago, and I had to say goodbye to my family, and it took 3 days to get here, guys. At least in my experience, it was super easy to get through. All I did was scan my passport, they took my picture, and then that was it. I walked through a gate and I was in the country. With the COVID stuff, I thought that I was gonna have to take a test in front of somebody, and then if I didn't pass, then I would be quarantined, or I thought they'd be a lot stricter with it. But really all it is you get 2 tests that you take yourself. So you'll just grab the box and then leave the airport. You take the first test the first day you're here, and then you take the second test on day 4 or 5. Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful sunny day today here in Auckland, New Zealand. It is my first full day here. I arrived last night at 11 p.m. completely exhausted because I took 3 days of travel to get here. When I first got my working holiday visa, I wanted to look on YouTube for just tips and tricks, how-tos, what people thought of it, and really I couldn't find much. So here I am, first day. Don't let me fool you, I really don't know much, but I'm getting stuff sorted, I'm getting stuff figured out, and I thought I would take you guys along for the journey. So the first few days I was in the country were really stressful just because I was putting a lot of stress on myself to get everything figured out, and my thinking was the quicker I get everything sorted, then the quicker I can feel settled. So the first thing that I had to worry about was getting a bank account. So you need a New Zealand bank account coming here. Also, bank transfers are a really big thing here. So instead of Venmoing your friends or something, I've had so many people be oh, you can just bank transfer me. And I'm I don't know, to me that's really weird. We don't do that in the US. I originally tried to go with ANZ. I was recommended that by a lot of people on the Facebook group for working holiday visas. I tried ANZ, I tried Kiwi Bank. The only bank that was able to get me in the same day was BNZ, and so that's who I'm with right now. Hey, editing me popping on here because I said BNZ the other day to my coworker, and he got mad at me and said it's BNZ. So if you say BNZ out loud, it's BNZ. I guess it's the same for ANZ. ANZ. To me, it looks like just a fucking Z. I don't know where you're getting the Z at, but that's just what New Zealanders say. So it's honestly so easy getting my bank sorted. I literally just walked into my nearest branch. They just need your passport and then your proof of residence, which you can use your proof of residence from your home country. I called in and I was hey, you guys already verified my identity. Can you open this bank account? And they were like, yes. I then realized that I did not want to walk everywhere because my Airbnb is not in the city. Not the best public transit here, so I would just recommend, if you don't want to get a car, I'd recommend like living downtown because then you could walk to a job. 2 jobs, I could not walk to either of them. They're both about a 10-minute drive away. So the second thing I wanted to focus on was getting a car. Now, everybody who is from New Zealand or is in New Zealand is going to tell you, Trade Me, go to Trade Me. I do not know how the fuck Trade Me works, okay? I know it's probably really easy, but I did start looking at like cars and it was like bid, like bid on this car. And I was like, I don't understand this. Trusty old Mark Zuckerberg, I went over to Facebook Marketplace and I took a look at cars there. I found the cutest car. I love her to death. I'm very grateful. She's probably the cutest car I've ever owned, and I'm so glad she's pink. Good morning, everybody. Look at these weird birds with red on their heads. What are you guys? Hi. I'm currently walking 4 miles, like over 4 miles in the city, which for like a hike, that's not a lot, but like I don't want to hike to get places, but I'm hiking to go look at a car. It is a pink Nissan March. Day 5 of being in New Zealand. Look at how cute my car is. Ooh, I drive on the left side of the road. My car is in Japanese. When buying a car here in New Zealand, the 2 things you need to look for are the woof. I call it the woof. I don't think it's actually called that. The warrant of fitness. To my knowledge, just to make it street legal, they do like a test or like a little check every 6 months for old cars. I think it's every year for newer cars, but mine's an older car, so every 6 months they just have to like go over and make sure everything is working properly and make sure that's up to date, and then also make sure that the registration is up to date. I think that that's every year. They also don't require insurance here, so like car insurance or anything. Which is really weird because in the US, if you don't have insurance and you get pulled over, you're gonna get a massive ticket. But just because they don't require it doesn't mean you shouldn't get some, okay? So the third thing that I wanted to deal with was insurance, okay? So I went to an AA center, which is actually gonna go into the 4th thing as well. I knocked 2 things out at once. I got my car insurance and then I also got my IRD number sorted. Going to an AA center is also an easy way to get your IRD number figured out. I tried to do it online. You can get your IRD number online, but I kept trying to do it, and for some reason it was saying I was not in the system, which was like freaking me out. I did have to wait in line for like an hour and a half just to talk to somebody, but I just thought it was so much easier than doing it online. It took a day. I got an email the next day after going into the AA office, and I got my IRD number, so I was all ready to work after like the 4th or 5th day I was here. Hi guys, so I'm in a pink car in a foreign country. I've been here for a week. It'll be a week tomorrow actually, so 6 days. It's the first time that I felt so overwhelmed that I want to cry. So much has changed in the last week. And it can kind of be scary and stressful. I am driving, but I just wanted to film the reality of moving abroad and moving to another country. After getting my IRD number and my bank account, the next thing to do, clearly, would be get a job. So now that I was all set to get a job, I was applying online all the time, like constantly, to a bunch of random jobs like on Indeed. The issue with that is a lot of them still thought I was in the States, and so I would just either not hear back or I would get confused emails saying like, are you in the country, or like where are you from? Because all of my work experience is in the US. Honestly, when you're looking for a job, I would just recommend printing out your resume or your CV and just going into like the places that you want to work and handing it into them and being like, hey, like I don't know if you guys are hiring or not, but I'm interested, and just talk to them face to face because it's going to be a lot easier. You could really do anything that you want to do. Right now I'm a barista and a bartender. I have 2 jobs right now. The only other thing that's really weird is they get paid on Wednesdays most of the time here rather than Fridays. And then the last thing I had to worry about here would be housing. Now for housing, I did end up using Trade Me. I just think it is the easiest thing. There are Facebook groups that you could look for housing on. Make sure that you're looking at where you're gonna be living in relation to your work, because Auckland is so massive, it's so big. So you could be looking in Auckland and living in Auckland, but you would be up like north and it would be like a 45-minute drive. Another thing with housing is you pay by the week here. It's not monthly, you pay every week. Today marks 1 week of being in New Zealand, and I decided to celebrate and get out of the city finally by taking a road trip to the coast. So I'm on the west coast of New Zealand right now. Those are all just some things to keep in mind, and this has been my experience coming to New Zealand. I'm basically local now, so if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm definitely not a local, by the way. I'll see you guys later. Cheers!